Well, you must have done this, actually practice successfully. Let's start saying more professional things. I want to design a column, but I want to produce all the parameters myself. Let's learn, for example, if we open a family without any parameters, how we can produce the parameters ourselves. So file new family. I don't make this mistake. And if I do, we'll learn how we can fix it. So I delete these. Each family usually has two reference planes. The two reference planes in the middle actually are in the center, right? One of them is center, left and right, and one of them is front and back. These two will never be deleted, right? Because those two are pinned, will never be deleted. So I go for family types. I see these two still are there. Let's delete them. Let's practice. So I select it and I delete it. Now, this is a very clean file, right? Again, let's go for extrusion. I want it to have a variety, not to be like the previous one. Extrusion. For example, I draw this. I have nothing to do with the thickness so far. It's not like the previous one, pay attention. I draw such thing. I said that if we are about to make it parametric, I don't finish it at first. We need to do that, right? So I want the width and the length to be parametric. So I go to annotate, aligned. Well, I said that the first step is to dimensioning. The first step is dimensioning. The second step is selecting the dimension and then select this in label. It's empty because all of them are deleted. So at first width, I want the width first. I select this and then I go for, and all of them are type, right? It's not logical to be instance. Then I select depth, width and depth. These two are imported and finish. Now you might say it's not in the middle. Well, I can put it in the middle, right? But the point is, let's test it. In depth, for example, I want it to be to 1020, 200. Well, it's changed. It's working, but something bad is happening. What's it? What you say? Definitely. The column is going out of its own reference plane, right? The column is going out of it. So what do we need? We need to, actually while we're changing the dimensions, we need them to change from sides, right? We want it to be constant against these two reference planes. Now, what's the technique? The technique, which is so useful and you need to learn, is to select it, again, click edit, so that I can have access to the parameters. Then I go to annotate for being able to say, for example, these parameters, change their dimensions based on the sides. I draw a line and then I click EQ. EQ means equal, you know. I click this and all of these are set automatically. And from now on, if the dimension changes, it changes from sides. Or the same thing. Zoom in, EQ, equal. These are really necessary, right? If you want to change, actually, if you want to change the dimensions from the sides, you need this. Let's test it again. Now it's in the it's based on the reference planes, and if you change the dimensions, it will be based on the reference plane. Well, I said that we want to have a fillet, right? There's a small point too, I will tell you. Let's draw them not the same, right? All of them with different dimensions. None of them are the same. I'll select one of them. And for writing the radius, you don't need to actually go for the dimensions. Just select this. And this is like a temporary dimension, right? And makes it permanent when you click it. All right. Now, one of them, I want to change one of them into parametric. So, for example, this is R. Very simply, you can select them and change all of them to R through this list, right? Let's test it. I want to decrease, for example, the radius to 100. I said that when we have a new parameters, we can change the previous ones too, because they might have been ruined. Well, everything is all right. Now, let's go for the thickness. I'll pick offset, for example, as 5. I wanted it to have an offset as 5. Let's make this one parametric 2. We learned it. In this example, you got familiar with equal. This changed the size, the dimension, and this one controlled the corners and how we can actually fix the radius of an arc. So I select T for this, and I select these two to be like that one. Finish. To tell you, of course, the ultimate point, an interesting point. Again, I change the size, the dimension. The radius will have to be, for example, 8. Or, for example, 25. Everything is all right. Thickness would have to be, for example, 3. Now we've got a perfect column. What's the ultimate point? That's right, it's about height. We go to this part we selected, drag it up to connect it to this level, and then lock it. Let's see it in 3D. Then we load it into project. All right. We also need to fix the levels because I didn't do it. Here, it's not bad to test the parameters. Again, well, I haven't seen any errors in project when this is all right here. Maybe in doors and windows. Everything is all right now. Please, carefully with details, practice this. There you go.